Apple, I baked a cake for you. Yours truly, Princess Toadstool. Peach.
Hello, welcome here. This is Masterstarman, and I'm bringing you the Super Mario 64 DS walkthrough. We were just seeing the opening where Mario goes to visit Princess Toadstool, Princess Peach, whatever I want to call her. And we saw Yoshi sweeping the roof, and
well, a lot of stuff has changed in 10 years. Hello everyone! Yeah. I don't know what to say about this. I mean, I feel like this is almost a sequel. I can't tell if all my hands are in the shots here or not. I can feel like this is almost a sequel to my old anniversary video, I guess, back in January when it was 10 years since I started my channel, and now it's been 10 whole years since I uploaded my very first Let's Play video. And wow, I don't honestly know what to say. It feels really, really crazy to think that it's been a whole 10 years since I originally did Mario 64 DS. I mean, I can't believe it's been 10 years since any of this happened, really. It's one of those feelings that, you know, I have a hard time really kind of explaining, you know, how much stuff has really happened in the last decade of my life. You know, it all started, I still have my original DS Lite here, and the original camcorder, which I used to film this entire Let's Play. This whole Let's Play predates the 3DS. It predates, oh god, saying it predates the 3DS is making me feel old already, but yeah, it predates that. It predates whenever I actually had proper recording equipment of any kind. It's just such a crazy thing to imagine 2,671 people actually watching this and finding any sort of enjoyment in that sort of video. And you know, back in the day, the original 64 DS LP, that was actually pretty successful on my channel, as far as especially compared to a lot of my other LPs. This one, actually, I think is one of the highest viewed on my channel, which is impressive to say the least. I don't know why anyone would have viewed this, but yeah. I'm trying to think if I have any interesting stories I could really tell. I remember I started this LP about 3 to 4 weeks before Super Skarmory began his LP of it, and back then, you know, I think I knew he was going to do it back then. I think he announced it. When I originally started my channel, actually, this was actually added into a list of games I was going to LP very last minute. There were 4 games I originally planned of doing Let's Plays on, and I've sort of done all these since then, but the 4 games were Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door, Kirby Squeak Squad, Pokemon Pearl, and Super Mario Bros. 3. I think what came down to that, I mean, Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door and Kirby Squeak Squad, I just did as Let's Plays on my channel. You can go back and watch both of those, and I could recommend both of those LPs to pretty much anyone looking to watch anything on my channel. So there was those two. There was Super Mario Brothers 3, which started back in 08, had on-off uploads until early 2011. I didn't finish the LP at all. I stopped right after World 7, never did the last part of it at all, and just decided earlier this year that 10 years had kind of come and gone, that LP was unfinished, and I wanted to do... I redid Mario 3 on the... where the heck is it? The NES Classic. You can see my box up there. I was wondering where the heck my NES Classic went to. Although, actually, I think I know where it is now. Never mind. So, yeah, there was that. There was... let me think here for a second. And then the last of that leaves is Pokemon Pearl. That, around that time, Pokemon Platinum, I think, had either just come out or was on the break of coming out in Japan, and I had just heard of it at the time, basically, and then after, this is kind of funny, after watching Chucker Conroy play his old Pokemon Platinum videos, that's how I discovered his channel back then, and since then he's become... you know, one of my favorite personalities. Not even one of my favorite YouTubers, but just one of my favorite personalities in general. I've met him at every single convention I've gone to, and he's... I don't want to say he's one of the reasons why I go to conventions, but I mean, honestly, the whole extended TRG community is kind of one of the things that kept me going for so long, and I love just about every one of the guys in that thing. I love all the guys in the main TRG, and I love almost all the friends. I don't think I have any bitter feelings towards anyone. There's some I don't really talk too much, but I mean, or watch much, but I mean, I have respect for everyone who's ever really been affiliated with them. And yeah, I can easily say, especially because of that, I think Chucker Conroy is one of my biggest influences as a YouTuber, period. And funny story about that, actually. At Con Bravo this year, just I guess 2 months ago now, a month and a week ago? I don't know totally, but a short while ago at Con Bravo, when I ran into Emil there, the first thing I said to him was, I shook his hand, I said, "Hey man, congratulations on your 10-year anniversary." And he just looked at me and went, "Thanks, and same to yours too." I guess he must have saw my logo at some point. I don't totally remember, but it was just kind of this, I was a bit shocked to hear that, but it was a really cool feeling to kind of be acknowledged like that. So, yeah, that was a really, really big highlight for me, 10 years and getting a compliment like that. Going back to Pokemon Pearl for a second, that later became the idea for me to Let's Play Platinum, which I actually tried doing that before my Let's Play of Platinum, if that makes any sense. I tried doing that, wasn't really enjoying the way everything was going, stopped playing it altogether. I never really even played Platinum all the way through until I did my Let's Play of it, which is kind of a shame because I think it's a great game, but I didn't really get to experience it the same way I did Diamond and Pearl, because back then I had this dumb mentality where, like, whenever the game came out, almost everybody I felt like was just trying to get videos out of it quickly as possible, and I just wasn't doing that, or I was trying to do that, but I wasn't doing it, and it was just a big mess, and very soon I lost interest in LPing it. Why I did LP it in the end was late 2010, I believe. I think I was sitting outside on a snowbank waiting for my school bus, waiting for the bus to pick me up, and I think this sounds kind of silly to say this, but I mean, most people probably know it. I had a really, really large crush on the character Dawn from Pokemon Diamond and Pearl when I was younger, and I guess I must have only been I think I was only about 13 at the time, going on 14, and I still felt like I still kind of had those feelings, even though that's pretty late for most people to really have a crush of that nature, I guess. And anyways, I got this idea back then. I'm like, maybe I might try Let's Playing Platinum again, but using Don's team from the anime. And long story short, that's what happened there. So that was the story of the Platinum Let's Play. And, yeah, so 10 years have kind of come and gone since then, and then those were the 4 original games I wanted to do Let's Plays of. Ironically, Squeak Squad I didn't even start until 2016, and Mario 3 wasn't finished until this year. You can actually still go back on my channel and watch all the old Mario 3 videos from that old LP, but from the old one, so if you're interested and want to see Mario 3 recorded on a CRT plugged in with coaxial with this camcorder, then go right ahead. I'm not going to stop you, but yeah. That's only for the first 3 worlds. I used a Dazzle for everything else in that LP. I realize you can't see the other side of this mug, so yeah, drinking out of my Appetite for Destruction mug right now. That was kind of the story behind the 4 original LPs of my channel. And, like, only about a week after I wrote that in my... The channels used to be a lot more elaborate back then, and I was just kind of trying to write something on my descriptions that made sense or something back then. And anyways, I wrote down games, these are the games I'm gonna probably do Let's Plays of, and it was those 4 originally, and then I added Mario 64 DS, like, very suddenly, like, about a week after I wrote that. So, and then 64 DS, I started that in September 5th, 2018. I can't honestly recall if the first video was recorded that day, but I'm just going by the upload dates, so I really couldn't tell you if I recorded and uploaded that on the same day or not, so could have been, but it's that part of my memory is not as good, so yeah, it's possible a decade ago that LP started coming into existence, so yeah, it's just one of those things that I'm honestly, I just find it crazy to think that a whole decade has kind of like come since then. Oh shoot, that's trying to play the video. You are I don't know anywhere good for you to sit right now, I guess. Right here maybe? Yeah, move over anyway. So yeah, I think that I'm trying to think if I have any other early stories from that LP. I think I have a couple, from like early on in the channel here. I think I don't know if I ever mentioned this or not, but besides Sugar Conroy, I feel like the 2 big other inspirations for me to begin Let's Playing were Maryland and Super Skarmory. I discovered Maryland's videos in... oh god, I discovered him from a walkthrough he had on GameFAQs of Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, and like right around the time those games came out, and it was like the only like good text walkthrough of the game at the time. So back then I was just big into, if I needed info on a game, I would look it up on GameFAQs, because YouTube was just kind of in its infancy. And then that was like right around the time I actually discovered and got into YouTube in the first place. So God, it feels weird thinking like I only otherwise knew of YouTube from like I think it might have been mentioned in Nintendo Power at one point from like a Mario Paint remix, and besides that, I don't think it was ever mentioned in anything else, or like I never really had much other exposure to it. And then when my mom showed me a video, and then I discovered Mama Luigi by pure accident, and then I realized I could just watch the Mario cartoons on YouTube all day if I wanted to, and that was a great feeling for me to discover, I guess. So that's kind of the origin of that. And then I discovered Maryland through his website, and then his video walkthrough of Pokemon Diamond and whatever else, really, I guess. And then it's funny actually. Like, I mean, it's really cool, I think, to see some people that I used to watch so many years ago, and I don't watch Maryland too often anymore. But I mean, I met him at MagFest. I sometimes watch like some of his stuff. Sometimes. I know that he still does like Twitch streaming and still does a lot of content as well, and he's very much an active person still, and I think that's really great though, that people can still be this active after all these years. And then by sheer accident I discovered Super Skarmory sometime in early 2008, I think, maybe late 2007, I don't honestly remember, but I saw that he did some Mario Let's Plays, or Mario walkthroughs, I guess. There really wasn't a good fine line between what was a Let's Play and what was a commentated walkthrough. By pure definition, they were all just talking while playing a video game, so I discovered all their channels pretty much all the same way, and I got a lot of amusement from his walkthrough of New Super Mario Bros. And Mario 3, so... And I discovered a couple other LPers too at the time. There was... and just other random people I watched back in 08. I discovered, I used to watch K-Wing reviews, or Nightwing reviews, I don't know what he goes by now, but I used to watch him a lot back in, I discovered his channel in 2008. I know he still does a lot of other stuff. I don't really watch his content anymore, but I know I used to back in those days. And then like otherwise I used to watch like dumb Mario 64 machinimas and just other weird content like that, so it's that's kind of how I've started. And originally I wanted to do other things like reviews and machinimas and all this other stuff, but I didn't realize how much extra work those were, and I just found my forte in just playing video games naturally and talking about them and whatever else, really. Yeah, and I also one time had this series, I don't know if I mentioned this in my Mario Sunshine LP, but I used to watch like a Mario 64 machinima a lot back in the day, called Wrath of the Ice God, and I don't know if that you can still find videos of that or not, because I think the guy's original account was hacked, and then he wanted to remake it at one point, and that fell behind, I think, and I enjoyed all of it back when he was doing it, but it's just been forever since then. So, I don't know if, my original idea was like, okay, that was Mario 64, I'll do a commentated Mario Sunshine machinima, because that totally makes sense, and that flopped. I mean, I can't really say anything was a flop back then. I never did anything for, not that I do anything for success now or anything like that, but it sure as hell wasn't that way back then. It was just people uploading stuff because they wanted to and not for any other reason, really. Actually, yeah, there's some other interesting... one other LP I actually never realized, I forgot I completely did. I'm looking at some notes I took down a while ago, but one LP I started, but again, this doesn't exist on my channel anymore, because it was in terrible quality. One LP I tried doing was actually the original Drawn to Life, which I've actually been asked if I was ever going to do a Let's Play of that, and I always had a hit or miss idea on it, because it's a weird story behind that, and I never felt like I would have been, I never felt like it would have been right with that, although I feel like that the time period's kind of passed for that anyway. I was only asked that because I did the Let's Play of Drawn to Life SpongeBob edition. So I remember one time, yeah, this is funny. I remember one time I lost my camera, and I think it fell beneath like a couch one time or something, and I couldn't find where the camera went, and it was uploaded to I uploaded the video, and in the description I put I was clumsy and lost the camera, I think I put in the description. And next thing I knew, at a bunch of website, like there was this website I think called the Clumsy Walkthrough that just like auto hosted, auto tagged, I don't know what you would really call it, but like my video was on that site. Like, the URL for the video was embedded, so I was getting the views on that site, and I felt really unusual, almost uneasy about that. It was a really weird feeling to just see my video suddenly on some other random website, even though I think it was just that the link was embedded onto another website. But yeah, I found that really, really strange. I remember midway through the LP, I got a new camera that Christmas 2008. It was the Jazz HDV 178, and I remember that was a pretty interesting Christmas because both Dallas and I, my friend Dallas, he's been in a lot of other stuff on my channel at the time, he also got a different camera, or a new camera that year as well. He got a flip video camera, and I didn't realize how to use it properly. I didn't know there was different settings to make it look nicer or whatnot. The quality was still blurry as could be for the next probably 5 or 6 videos or something, and then I think by part 18 in the LP, 18 or 19, I don't remember which, I could actually see what I was playing on the game screen, and I was blown away so much by the fact I could actually see what I was doing. It was such a weird feeling for me because I was not used to that. So yeah, it was just a really strange feeling for me to actually see that. And then, you know, everything just started going so fast following like the next year. Like the following March, like my birthday's in late February, so I got for my birthday, my dad bought me a brand new laptop. It was a Dell Inspiron laptop, and I still have that to this day actually. I use it occasionally because that's what our printer is hooked up to now, so I just leave it up there for using the printer and stuff now. It actually still, I don't want to say it runs great, but for basic stuff like web browsing and stuff, it surprisingly is solid. It doesn't lag out, it doesn't whatever. Even though it runs on Vista, it surprisingly still feels solid. Like, I've never really had a huge issue using it, so it's surprising that that thing's 9.5 years old, and it's had an overheating problem for the last number of years. I remember I had to use that thing in high school about 4 years ago because this laptop here, which has been my main one since 2012, this broke literally the night before school, my senior year of high school started, and that was something, because yeah, the Dell was not powerful enough to use Sony Vegas, which was like the top thing that it wasn't, the one thing it wasn't powerful enough for. So yeah, that was just a messed up time for me, I think. But yeah, and then right after I got the Dell for my 12th birthday, I think it was a little late getting here, but I got it in like early March, and then almost by mid-March I also got a Dazzle, which was just, everything was kind of going so fast by then. I remember another Let's Player I got into back then, and I still occasionally watch these days, is Bicked Up on a Bus, and I used to watch his videos all the time back in like 2009, 2010, and yeah, I used to watch his videos all the time back then, and now it's great that he's very much still active as well. And I'll if it's a game I'll enjoy watching, I'll still probably watch it. But yeah, I was I remember he got a Dazzle around the same time, and that kind of is what like pushed me to get one as well. So I really owe it to my father at the time as well, because my father bought me like all that equipment so early on. He bought me my first Dazzle, my only Dazzle, I don't know why I worded that, my first capture card I should say, my first laptop. He also bought me this laptop. He also bought me my first Elgato, which I have right here. He bought me oh god, he bought me my blue Snowball, which was a Christmas gift. He bought me my blue Yeti, which was crazy. The only pieces of equipment I think that I myself bought were my 3DS capture card. We went about half and half on my old Hop Hog. I paid about $120. I paid about half for my old Hop Hog. My dad paid the rest. So I'll sort of count that. I thought of something else. My Dazzle, my Elgato, my 3DS. He's also just bought me a lot of other game systems as well. I could have sworn he bought me something else as well, or that I bought something else as well. I'm pretty sure he bought me the green Tiger Electronics camcorder. He bought me the Nikon Coolpix, which I still have here. I use this for vlogging at conventions and stuff. Been thinking about getting a new camcorder at some point, or a new camera, but I mean, that thing works fine for what I need it for. Yeah. So, I really owe it to my father for everything he's done for me over the years. Like, not just for the channel, but just in general being my dad, but also mostly for the channel, because, let's be honest, that is ridiculous. The fact he bought me 2 computers in the span of 3 years is ridiculous enough. But, yeah. God, it's crazy. It's crazy thinking around, like, early 2009 was when YouTube even started rolling, widescreen out for videos. It's kind of crazy thinking it was around that time as well. And yeah, I think by like mid 2009 was where the Trigger Conroy influence was really starting to take shape. I know the thing's just gonna, my camera's automatically gonna stop recording because it's almost at 30 minutes right now, so, yeah. Just give it a second, give it a second, give it a second, give it a second. I think I can just fast forward a couple of years, because I mean, I don't want to give like a whole, I don't want to say everything in, I'll update here. I'm still working on the book, don't totally know when it's coming, but it's coming along at kind of a slow pace. I'll be blunt and admit that. I haven't really written much for the last few weeks, but hoping to change that soon, fingers crossed, but I can just say it's coming along, anyway. But yeah, it was really around, I think when it came to the channel, it was really around 2011, I think, when everything kind of started speeding up a lot. Even 2010 started speeding up a lot, and then it just escalated a lot in the next year. I mean, looking back on things, I find it so hard to believe all the stuff that happened in just 2011 alone. I was really fascinated by the idea that people went to gaming conventions and like recorded and hung out, and like people had the chance to meet each other, and it kind of brought this weird sense of reality to a lot of people, I guess. And from like 2011 to 2013, I just wanted to go to a convention, and I think PAX East in Boston was like my first true, like, the convention I wanted to go to, and then I went there in 2013. So it was, even now to think that was 5 years ago, 5.5 years ago now, that's just a crazy thought for me to think as well. You know, to think, and by 2011 I was kind of I was going into like my third year on YouTube. I was kind of starting to get a little seasoned at the time. I finished pretty much every Let's Play on my channel that was started was finished in 2010. Even Mario 64 DS, that didn't finish until the summer of 2010, so by technicality, Metroid Prime was the very first LP I ever actually finished, which is kind of a funny thought to think about, but that is a true fact there. So yeah, it was just kind of crazy that everything happened so fast there. You know, Mario 64 DS, Zelda Ocarina of Time, GoldenEye 007, Super Mario Sunshine. And then after, like, I started a bunch of other LPs alongside Mario Sunshine, but then decided to just focus on stuff one at a time. And then after that was done, and after, like, a lot of Christmas relaxing, I started SpongeBob Movie in 2010. That was that was the biggest Let's Play I ever did, in terms of viewership, so, you know, by going into early 2011, you know, I went back to Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, because that was simple for me to do at the time. And then I went back and I finished Banjo-Kazooie, because that was started in late 2009. I finished Yoshi's Island. I got back into SpongeBob Movie. I completely skipped over one between then. I actually tried to do Super Metroid, and lost interest very late in the LP and completely, like, removed 90% of its existence from my channel, which I usually don't do that, but I was under a lot of crap at the time. I remember one of my friends was really sad that I deleted it at the time, but it was kind of whatever. I wasn't personally happy with the way it was.
I'm sorry.
I didn't say your name! And one of my friends is really sad that I deleted it at the time, but oh god, Siri. Yeah. So, yeah, so, Super Metroid was dropped. I did a Let's Play of Kirby 64, which I didn't really like at the time, and I still don't really like it, actually. I think it's one of my worst LPs, if I'm being honest. The audio quality alone would be enough for that. Because I was using like a half-broken mic for the entire thing, and it just sounded terrible. There was that. Then I began Pokemon Platinum, as well as got back into SpongeBob Movie. Then I did Mega Man 4. Then I went away to a cadet summer camp, came back. My grandmother on my dad's side passed away right after that, which kind of sucked, but life is life, I guess. So that happened, and then I began Mega Man X, and then the whole friggin' thing with where the heck did that thing go? The hell? Oh, what the heck are you doing on the floor? And then the whole crap with one of these things stealing a star from me, and Mario Party 7 happened, and freaking, you know, everything. I could go on and on, but so much just happened, and all within such a rapid rate of each other. Like, I gotta honestly say, I mean, I don't know what to say about something, all these things that have happened. It's kind of, you know, if YouTube were to just suddenly crash, or even they were like, if they were to say like we couldn't upload gaming videos anymore or some other ridiculous thing, I can't complain, you know. I can't complain, but sometimes I still do. Life's been good to me so far. There's my bad impression of a Joe Walsh song right there, but yeah, it's just kind of everything that's happened is all like it's all happened for a reason, you know. If anything, I'm just really, when it comes to everything that's happened to my channel, I'm glad I was able to bounce back from, I hate to say I did basically nothing for about the first 2/3 of 2016. And that's kind of true. I basically did do almost nothing for that. And I was just kind of, like, I wasn't sure what to do, and then around, like, September, mid to late September, I said, okay, you know what, I need to cut the crap, and I need to actually get back to making Let's Play content again, because everything that I hadn't done anything like that in almost a year, besides Mario Kart Wii, which wasn't really, has a lot of hit or miss feelings for both me and Morgan more so, and there was that, and then there was a live stream of Banjo-Tooie. That was not fun for me at all, really. And then I honestly think that going back and doing Kirby Squeak Squad, that was like the perfect time for me to do that, because not only was it a game I always wanted to do, but it was one of those things that I feel like I needed to do it because I needed a game that I could bounce back with, and that was that. And then I feel like that was almost like a whole second act for my channel, and I think that a lot of my Let's Plays since then were all really good. Kirby Squeak Squad was a lot of fun for me to do. Metroid Fusion was fun, if a little, had some weird technical problems at times, but it was still fun. South Park: The Stick of Truth, I hadn't laughed that hard at a game in a long time. And then going into early 2017, Jak and Daxter was really fun. Pokemon Leaf Green is one of my favorite LPs I've ever done, so there was a lot of really good high moments at that time, and honestly, I wanted to continue that momentum while I could, because even now, coming off of Nuts and Bolts, there's a lot of stuff I can honestly say, like, now that Nuts and Bolts is nearing its completion. It's pretty crazy thinking that how much stuff is kind of, like, it's crazy just how much stuff has happened on this day alone, like, even just on my channel, because this was the day that I began my original Mario 64 DS video. I remade Mario 64 DS in mid-2013, like, remade the Let's Play when I got my 3DS with the capture board, and, I think I intentionally did this. I'm sure I probably scheduled it for that day, but I ended that Let's Play on September 5th as well, so it's just kind of 5 years between starting my original and finishing my remake of the LP, and 25 LPs later, I mean, that averages out about 5 LPs a year, which was, you know, that's still a really good rate to go about some things, so they weren't all the same length. Some of the Mega Man ones and such were only about a couple weeks long, but yeah, it's, you know, it's, I don't totally know what to say about something like this anymore. I mean, we just kind of, it's been good, you know, 10 years of Let's Playing, and it's changed my life for the better. I can honestly say that I don't know what the heck I would be if I didn't begin Let's Playing 10 whole years ago. I can't believe it's honestly been that long. It's it's just kind of an emotional feeling that I never really thought I would ever understand, and you know, I think 2008 was a really magical year for so many Let's Players, not just myself, but I mean, you know, I've talked to a lot of people already that have celebrated their 10 years, celebrated 10 years of doing stuff. I know it's so good to see that so many of the people I watch that have done this thing for so long are still very much active. I think it's an art that I'm happy that a lot of people are still active and still doing things that, yeah, you know, I honestly couldn't have done this without so many people, and I can save my thanks for a later video, but it was a really, it was just a really magical feeling that something like this is brought, and I, honest to God, I cannot believe that it's been a whole 10 years since I began doing this, so I don't have a whole lot more I can say, really. Thank you so much for watching this video. It means more to me than usual if you were able to sit through this and watch something like this. That it's been a whole decade since I began pretty much everything. Yeah. I don't know what else to really say. Just thank you, everyone. And this thing's right about to run out of space, so I really need to finish this off. Thank you for watching. I've been Masterstarman. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.